All right, we've had 13 series so far here in the World Championship Challenger in Europe, and now we move on to number 14, the final one to decide who is going to be the last person going into Premier.
Yeah, there is one slot available, but there are two excellent StarCraft 2 players going head-to-head in a rematch from Season 1 Challenger. It is Harstem versus Petraeus. I got Petraeus on my mind after that last game versus Serral. This is going to be a good one because we saw how well Serral crushed in Season 1. He made a lot of fans. He went 3-0 versus Harstem in Challenger. He then went undefeated in the round of 32. Looked good in the round of 16, 2-0 versus Shigua.
Yeah.
Unfortunately got beasted by 4GG. And then TLO ate this little Zerg for dinner. And he's back in Season 2 looking stronger than ever. But Harstem wants revenge. And, well, Serral allowed it to be possible by picking to play him again in Challenger.
All right, so the rematch is on to round out things of who is going to be moving on to Premier. Harstem, we've seen him in Premier many a time. We see him bopping his head and dancing around and singing all along whilst he's playing those games. But Serral is one of the destroyers here in Europe. It's very, very difficult to compete against Serral, and he's looking to advance onto Premier and do good things once again.
Yeah, this is going to be a great series between these two players. There's already Twitter banter going back and forth between the two of them, even though Serral's not exactly the banter king himself, but Harstem's all about that, and he's ready to rock and roll. Got his One Direction on. He's good to go.
All right, let's see if he can go One Direction straight to Premier, as he's going to be facing off against this man spawned down to the south. Is our red Zerg. It is My Insanity's Serral. And up to the north, we have our blue Protoss. Now of Invasion Esports, it is Harstem.
Yeah, this is going to be such a great series. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's actually probably the one I looked forward to the most out of every single best of 5 that we had in Challenger. And here we go. We get to start this up as Serral is such a wonder kid when it comes to playing StarCraft 2. He's so very awesome at this game, and hopefully he can show us what he's made of again. And he's got such a great personality, very shy, but also just so good at StarCraft. And when we were doing the interviews with him last season, he's I don't really know why everybody thinks I'm the best. It's because he just destroyed everybody and went 4-0 in the group.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What do you think?
Yep.
And I had the pleasure to do all the interviews with him as well, and he was so shy, shaking, and couldn't, he was trying his best to speak the best possible English he could give, but he couldn't quite do it. And he was like, I'm so sorry, I'm trying my best to speak the best English I can, and it's coming off really bad. I'm like, no, it's actually completely fine, don't worry.
Shy but humble. Shy but humble.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he made a lot of fans in Season 1, and is ready to do the same in Season 2. But Harstem on the other side of things, this guy should have been in Premier League last season. It's a shame that he couldn't make it. He deserves a lot, man. This guy is definitely a Premier League player.
Yep, he's a hard worker. He has a strong work ethic. Very, very healthy attitude towards the game as well, I would say. And it's funny because in terms of attitudes, probably outside the game, they're like direct opposites. Serral is shy, kind of young and kind of a bit timid or whatever. Yeah. Harstem's not exactly that guy.
No, he's quite the opposite, really.
Yeah.
But he's had a very difficult time in WCS recently, and not so much in WCS because I suppose he hasn't really been knocked out of it. He played in Season 3 last year and technically played in Season 1 this year in Challenger, but the qualifiers have been so hard for him.
Yeah.
He's lost in, 90% of the qualifiers and squeezes in on the last one, even though he should be winning the first couple.
Yep.
But here he is in Challenger, gets another shot at Serral as Serral's called him out to play again, and here we go.
Yep, Harstem, obviously, I think he kind of dawned the #1 title in the Dutch scene for a little while, but that kind of get taken away from him recently, with Rhett doing so well there.
Yeah, I still think he's #1, but Rhett won the Dutch tournament of everyone that was there.
Yeah.
So even though I still think Harstem's the best Dutch player over Uthermal and Rhett won that tournament, including the win over Harstem. So Rhett definitely climbing back up. And Rhett in Premier League now, going to be challenging. Unfortunately, Uthermal got eliminated, but Rhett and Harstem both looking to move through as the two Dutch players in the Premier League. But Harstem's build's great. Nexus first. He's got a good setup already. On the other side of things, Serral's looking pretty good too. I mean, he took this expansion outside, so he's got that creep spread really early on, and even the queen ready to creep spread for a second time.
Overlord here just to be able to duck and dive in when it needs to spot anything that is going on for Harstem. But I'm expecting strong macro out of Harstem here. I'm expecting that kind of blink style that we've been seeing a lot from the Protoss to really, really put on the pressure.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to play like that.
Yeah.
He'll be third basing it up quite a lot. Lots of blink stalkers.
Yeah. It's powerful, super powerful, and Zergs have had a real trouble with it. That being said though, Serral, for me, he's a problem solver. He is a thinker. He may be young, but he certainly knows a thing or two about StarCraft, and he'll be able to counter.
The way he's approaching this is no fast thirds, which is interesting. We have Harstem going up towards his 3 gateways. That forge is next is meant to be the next structure added on. Serral expanding outwards.
Very similar to our Norwegians, and it keeps him well defended against if a Warp Prism was to come along and shut down that main base from the ramp.
Yeah, that back base, so annoying to deal with against that type of play, but he's also expanding forward to where he can launch aggression down this left flank, pushing towards his opponent's third, and with this fantastic creep spread, and he's really focusing on that creep spread too, pushing it out. He is going to look to be aggressive towards his third, and I think it's the key to success in beating Protoss is not to combat the end product of what they can have with 3 Nexus, all these Blink Stalkers. It's stopping them before they get there. So I really think that at the moment, just by looking at it, and it is a wild call to say, that Serral is pushing towards an attack on this Nexus very soon. Yeah, I mean, with the range coming in, Roach Warren going down, and if the layer starts morphing in anytime soon, you could see a big Roach Hydra swell. He could do it with Roach Ling as soon as this Roach Warren finishes. If he stops with unit production now and starts adding on Overlords, he can do it with Roach Ling. Or he continues to add drones and does it with Ling Hydra. It's very powerful. Very powerful. It's such an open third base. And these small wall-offs that we're going to see from Harstem, not quite the elfy size wall-offs we'll be seeing here. Let's hold the phone with that. But Harstem should be buckled down, but it is still very, very difficult on this map. Yeah, it definitely is. Right now he's adding on his 4th and 5th gateway in that wall, single cannon, decent sentry count. Twilight Council's going to come in a quick second here so he can get Blink to help his Stalkers get that +2 to make his army stronger, and then just look to set up the defense. With the amount of sentries he's got, he should be sending out Hallucinated Phoenixes from now. He's got a lot of energy. He's got to find out, is it Hydralisk Den, Infestation Pit, Spire, gold base, no gold base? Yeah, at the moment with the droning up, it looks like it is to the Hydralisk Den. Very, very soon. Clear Reconstitution's on the way, so we're going to give those roaches a bit of extra punch. And sees no base at the back, so you can kind of infer from that what is going on in terms of the base layout. Well, he's moving out at the moment, and this is a good movement out here. Ooh, there is no units currently. All right. The creep spread is gorgeous, by the way. It's almost 100% efficient. Apart from Tilo saying, no, if you put overloads in the middle of the map and spread creep with your overloads, and then do creep tumors. Oh god, not that. Apart from that, this is perfect. But the roaches are on the way, so this attack actually not going to do that much now. Yeah, and so he'll be rocketing up to the Hive as well very quickly. So go Roach, Hydra, and with the Vipers as well for Blinding Clouds. Anything he really wants at that front position is going to be very powerful. Yup. But this attack from Harstem shouldn't do too much. Not too much, not too much. If anything here, it's. I mean, it may just recall straight out. It's just going Pathogen Glands, actually, so locking this army down and then just wrapping around it. And it is a very good tool against Blink, against all these heightened numbers of Stalkers that we've been seeing. Yep. It's a good style. And Harstem continues to warp in, but I'm getting a little bit worried for him. This army is starting to get quite strong here for Serral. The Roach Speed finishing up, and 9 Hydralisks on the way. If he gets that Mothership Core sniped by the Hydralisk and leaves his units out, yes, he has force fields, but still got to be very careful. Lings go for the counter. There are the 2 cannons in the wall off. There's been an Overseer looking in, and the Overseer just sees everything that he's expecting to see. The Twilight Council, Blink, +2 attack, but here comes Harstem. Is this going to line up well enough? I mean, the Pathogen Glands is about to pop. There's only 1 Infestor on the way, so he would like a few more than that, that's for sure. But if you can actually land Fungal Growths even on the sentries, it's brilliant. If you can get 1 or 2 off on them, and they do end up popping themselves. Yeah. Observers here can get rid of the accoutrements too. Ooh, nice. Serral holding on though. Army supply, 83 to 75. Yeah, if you can trap this down with Fungals and then just hit that Mothership Core, get rid of that thing.
Yeah. And the thing is he doesn't know about the infestation pit at the back, but as soon as he sees that infestor at the front, and oh my god, he actually didn't see that infestor.
Yeah, this warp prism's ready to go too, which is going to be a nuisance.
Towards the base that doesn't exist, and then towards the main. Oh, okay, now he sees the infestor, and he's got to be a little bit wary.
Yeah, the warp prism's going to do enough damage here.
Yeah. Not really much to defend.
Temporal Archive's coming in to deal with the infestors, and also Storm's pretty good.
Here come the Zealots.
Harstem's trying to go down for this fourth. He's actually going to drag his opponent's army into the main, and Serral does split his army in half to not fall victim to that move.
Oh, good force fields will prevent any kind of chase on forwards. And the Queen went down here, so he doesn't have any anti-air for the Warp Prism, so it's a bit sad for him.
Harstem finishing up that Temporal Archive. Storm can start. A Ling run around attempted, but blocked.
And Immortals have just been the ad go-to here for this army.
But it's only 3 base versus 3 base, you know? Serral's just kind of pumping away with this one army. Doesn't have the best economy.
Yeah.
And Harstem's looking good. You know, when he gets all these Archons in the mix, I mean, not Archons, sorry, High Templar for Storm, the amount of Immortals he's got as well, he's looking all right.
4th base with a ton of Spine Crawlers going down here, so Serral's going to play this out longer. Not really looking to rush on forwards with this army, but, I mean, at the same time, they really don't have the most amazing... Well, it's just +2 weapons on both of these armies at the moment. And that's it. Not much more than that.
4th base down for both, but I like this position a bit better for Harstem. I love the addition of this Storm. Going to do a lot of damage here, but Petraeus just, I mean, not Petraeus, I keep calling him Petraeus.
I don't know why.
He's on my mind.
It's a bit weird, that.
He's hit a soft spot.
They're the same team. Let's go with that.
Yeah, he's the same team, and both play Zerg, and both have blown my mind in 2 different seasons.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Serral might continue to. So you might be stuck in it even further.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, mate.
He's my insanity twins.
Yeah. It's going to lead to your insanity. Sorry, bro.
Yup.
Oh, well. He's High Templar now going to walk forwards here with this force. But you're not going to break that Spine Crawler wall anytime soon with the backing up of this and recalls, because there is a bit of a counter-attack. It did slip on by. So Stargate, we have the Dark Shrine on the way, Hive, Spire, extra hatchery, of course. There's the harassment in the main base, trying to get this hatchery. Not going to be successful, but fully enough, he didn't actually morph in the layer there. He morphed it in at the natural, so it's okay. It's all okay.
Always a nuisance to lose that, but Harstem's realized his opponent's got not the best economy, sitting on 3 bases for the majority of the game, and there's no real reason for him to attack. He's just kind of waiting, building up, got that Warp Prism as a massive threat, and has now taken a 4th of his own. Fleet Beacon coming in. He's expecting Brood Lords here. So he's already preparing for that. Sling run by does nothing. Nice and easy clear up.
And there we have our Great Aspire morphing in. And the funny thing is that I don't think... No, he has no knowledge of this. He's just kind of reading into the game really, really well. So that's great foresight here by Harstem.
Yeah, knows his opponent well.
All right.
Good harassment again. This just hasn't been dealt with properly.
No. Harstem at the moment showing a really good game. And
yeah, very solid. No mistakes yet, really. I mean, obviously there's always mistakes in StarCraft, but nothing that's cost him his lead, or at least his level pegging. But there's so many spines.
Yeah, it's funny. Serral's normally the very reactionary player, and he's able to kind of bring the aggression to his opponents on the other side. But there's been no holes, really, on Harstem's side of this game.
And Warp Prism right down the back where that Hive is.
Cannons, cannons. Harstem likes his cannons. We haven't seen any Harstem cannons in the middle of the map, actually.
No, they're all at home at the moment.
Yeah.
But I like that he's adding on all this Tempest stuff preparation already. And the Great Aspire isn't even finished yet.
And also preparing for Anion Pulse Crystals, making sure that any Mutalisks were to come out, he would be totally ready for it.
Dark Templar being warped in, and they're going to be hunting for a big, juicy structure.
Uh-oh. And they find a Great Aspire. What better to go for? Even the Hive, whatever you want to do. He looks to just go for mineral lines.
Yeah.
That would have been better to probably bring those down. But then again, you know, if you try and go for it and you just get fungal growth, you're getting nothing.
There's a bit of damage here and there. All around the place. 12 drones. Lovely jubbly.
Well... Yeah, they got in to scout. And they did see Broodlords, but obviously they saw that Greater Spire behind all of that as well.
Tempest's going to begin now.
Yep.
Warp Prism still around to the right-hand side too, just another one. Really good harassment here from Harstem while just slowly building up to this nice army he's got going. And the 3 Tempests being added on. So the thing is that the Tempests are going to get shut down really easily because the the Broodlords. And then what does he have? A bunch of Roach and Hydra against Storm, Stalker, everything else?
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. +2 weapons now on the way for Harstem as well. And it gets to that scary point where I don't think Zerg really wants to let Protoss have full control over this game. He's going to have an amazing, amazing army.
Yeah, this army is going to be very difficult to combat. Even the Mothership coming in.
Oh, wow. I heard it somewhere. Where is it? Ah. Wom, wom, wom. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Well, here we go with Serral's slow movement forward. He's going to take the gold base. Harstem does know it. He sees the army in the middle of the map. And even, actually, Stalkers, what are they doing? Are they looking to blink in or something?
I guess so. Yeah. They don't have the vision. He's like, sees them. Oh, okay. Then here's comes Hallucinated Phoenix, and then just blink in forwards.
The funny thing is, there's a bunch of Roach and Hydra, and they just moved away as they blinked in.
Yeah.
But still.
They've been skulking around here for a while, actually, in terms of, like, always back and forth, always back and forth.
Yeah.
So...
Oracle on the way, so we can have some vision in the center of the map here, so we can start to use these Tempests and their awesome range.
They have brilliant range. It's like shouting from across the room, just like, way up, and we're going to kill all your Broodlords. Sorry, mates.
Yeah, that's what he's planning to do. But here comes Serral. He's going to push forward. A lot of Infestors, a lot of energy.
Are we really at Broodlord Infestor, Sean? Is that what we're at right now?
Yeah, I mean, look at the screen. The answer's yeah.
Wow.
Yes, we are.
Feel like it's 2012.
Where's the Vortex?
Well, apparently not allowed in this game. So, where is the Mothership? Oh, there it is.
Just lagging behind, isn't it?
Yes. It actually hasn't moved from being morphed in, so...
Alright, Oracle is out. And this needs to gather a bit of energy and then use its Revelations ready. Oh man, there's so much damage already.
Yeah. And there's not much you can do because the High Templar are going to come in and storm anything that gets close, and you can't really do much from there. And if the Infestors get too close and they get feedbacked...
Oh yeah, at least he destroys the Nexus, but that's not a big problem for Harstem, I don't think, at this moment. Oracle gets stopped in its tracks. He only grabs the spines, really. Oh, and actually gets a bit more than that, actually, looking deeper.
Yeah, some Broodlords. Some Broodlords were there. Drops down the fungal again. That was actually a really tasty fungal, and could try and chain this under all these Broodlords, doing some damage, but Storms will come in as well, as will some feedbacks. All of these Infestors, though, for the most part, are still alive, and he actually destroys the majority of that army.
Yeah, really good fight there by Serral, trapping a lot of those units with the fungal growth and then nailing the rest of them. And at the moment, with a lot of more Corruptors coming in, these Tempests are going to be in a bit of trouble. He's lost all his High Templar. He's got no Storms to protect them against any units that dart in.
Yeah, we're back to Broodlord Infestor, boys. It's time. Obviously, with a few more complementing units from here on out, with the Corruptors actually coming in, having to deal with these Tempests. But right now, this is a reality.
Yeah, it's a very slow and methodical game coming out from Serral. Just slowly pushing through the map, using all this static defense, building up Broodlord Infestor, as the olden days used to teach us who's the best and was the best. And Harstem's attempts with harassment just haven't been that successful. They haven't really slowed anything down, and these Tempests have got to start going into action.
I notices he doesn't have the gold base down to the bottom right, but of course the gold base in the middle has been taken here. Goes on in with these Corruptors, looking to bring down as many of these Tempests as possible. There was a good fungal on those Stalkers at the front, and the Mothership core is being focused down by the Corruptors, knowing that that is very, very important. Likewise, though, the Broodlords dying off pretty quickly, and eventually they will trade blow for blow here with these Tempests, but there's the blink forwards. They don't really have that many complementing units here to help the Broodlords down. Yeah,
he's going to bring some of them down. He's taking quite a few losses with these Stalkers, but they are well upgraded, and he will destroy the rest of them. But that Mothership, I mean, Harstem forgot it, and so did I. He made me forget it because he left it at the back there. I think that would have been a lot more useful if it was with the army.
Yeah, with Tempests.
Yeah, with the Tempest, with everything there. I mean, Serral had no overseers with that army. I'm sure he had a fungal growth, I suppose, but fungal growth can't get to the back units.
Not easily, no. not without sacrificing lives. But the swarm is going to keep pushing forwards. Spines as well as spores here, slowly moving towards this, and the Tempest trying to trade off quickly, but that does not go down as quickly as I do previously mention.
The push continues from Serral. Creep getting closer, Spine Crawlers edging forward. Harstem doesn't have the best economy now because he's starting to run a little bit low. It's still okay, but the bank is massive for Serral.
He's only got 5 Corruptors on the field, though. He needs to sacrifice some of this. He's 80 workers. Is that too much here for this?
Yeah, probably. Just a little bit too much.
Because he would ideally like to have a ton of Corruptors so he could swing in and kill the Tempest, surely.
Might be the Roaches, too. Where are those Roaches?
They tried to go for the counter, and actually, this is a brilliant sacrifice, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They're not going to be that useful in the straight-up engagements.
Yeah, so Roaches tanking up a lot of the supply.
Yeah. So get as many Stalkers as you can, because if you can bring down more AoE, maybe even the High Templars, focus those down with these Roaches. He already got... No, he didn't even get one, so they were just sacrificed completely there.
Yeah, and here come the Corruptors.
Yeah. All right. So, but yeah, he could have got some High Templars with that, and then Harstem doesn't exactly have the most gas in the world.
No, he doesn't, and he needs a new base to start getting the most gas in the world as well. This gold base is never ever going to be taken on the left-hand side. The middle base that Harstem could take is creep all over it, and then on the right-hand side, you know, it's going to be very difficult to defend that.
Yeah. This Tempest Force is not exactly the most mobile. That being said, neither is the Broodlords, but of course he could just split off a few units towards there. Some Zealots for the counter harass here, try and do some damage, but this base is almost mined out anyway.
Locked down again, and Harstem must continue to fight the good fight as the Tempest starting to launch into the static defense.
Walks on forwards here with this army, looking for a fungal growth, grabs himself the Oracle, the Tempest turn around, grab themselves a Corruptor or two, but here comes the fight. Those are some really good fungal growths on the majority of that army here for Serral, as the Corruptors will fly forwards. Those are some great storms here, bringing down as many of the Corruptors as they can. They're weakening a lot of them,
but they're not dead.
They haven't been able to kill them. They're still around. The Void Ray here trying to help on out. The anti-air isn't going to be enough here for Harstem. He only has these Stalkers left against the Broodlords, and he will kill them off. These trades going down, but it's not enough. He doesn't have the bank to remax. GG, as Serral will be able to take game number 1 after a well-fought battle there.
I was getting really into that then, as you can see. I was standing up, dancing around, watching that one. But Serral, very difficult style to beat there for Harstem.
Yeah. It comes down to, I guess if the static defense wasn't there, maybe he can just kind of push on forwards a little bit further, but Broodlord Infestor, man, we're back.
Yeah, Broodlord Infestor, and I wonder if he's going to use the same. I mean, that's a great map for it.
Yeah.
On Vanny Research Station because of how narrow it is and that you force the fight through the middle. Interesting to see, will that be played out again on the other maps? It's going to be a little bit more difficult to make it work, I would imagine.
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, obviously, that's a big, long stretch of a map to actually have that kind of style play out well for you, a little bit further away from your opponent, obviously. Now it's going to be going over to Coda as our second map, and I could see something more mid-game orientated here from Serral. I mean, we've seen really strong, aggressive plays from him in the mid-game.
Yeah, I think he gave a little bit too much freedom to Harstem in the middle there and might want to be a bit aggressive, but as much as Serral could be aggressive in the mid-game, Harstem might want to really switch it up, not to allow too much of Serral to go untouched to get to where he just was.
Yeah. That was brutal to deal with. I mean, we even saw him having a really well-rounded composition himself with, say, 6, 7, or 8 Tempests, of course, in there. Quite a lot of Storms. But even the Storms weren't able to make the difference against those Corruptors at the very end. They took tons of damage. They just didn't die.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of mistakes in the fights from Harstem, but if he improves on that, maybe he can try to combat that again. He's good enough to beat that army.
Yeah. All right, well, we're getting loaded up. Game number 2 on the way. Serral currently leads 1-0 in this best of 5, so let's jump right on in as we have spawning up to the top left. It is our player 1 game up as our Zerg. It is My Insanity Serral. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's our blue Protoss. It is Invasion Gaming's or Esports Harstem. I really, really wanted to say Fnatic then. Really wanted to say it, but I kept it back.
You kept it back, man.
And then said it anyway.
All right, I'm going to get back into my active pose.
Okay.
I'm just going to adjust myself a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, there we go. Change my bra strap.
My back's having a hard time here.
There's there. I've got my cables all done.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. All right.
All right, game number 2 of the final match of the evening. And Serral 1-0 versus the Flying Dutchman.
And for Harstem, if it goes the same direction, then it's going to be difficult. That was a brutal thing to deal with there from Serral. Very difficult.
Yeah, Serral, that was very solid. He dealt with the harassment very well.
Yeah.
But the harassment never really got too much damage done. But we'll see what Serral can do. Serral recently turned 17 in the end of March. Very young player.
Yeah. I mean, with that age, has only recently been able to compete in WCS. I think in 2013 wasn't even allowed to, right? So,
yeah. I mean, he's first couple of seasons he got in Premier. I mean, was not last season, the season before that, round of 32 towards the end of 2014. Round of 32 he was in, and then round of 16 last season. But Harstem, before last season, had 2 back-to-back round of 16 finishes, which were very convincing.
And this is how competitive we're getting really here in Europe. I mean, you've got players like Serral and Harstem playing each other in Challenger.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous. Both of these, as you say, warrant a Premier finish, a Premier placement.
Absolutely.
But
only one.
Yeah.
All right, so Nexus first coming out from Harstem again, followed by that Gateway. Second pylon, double gas. And on the other side of things here for Serral is just a hatchery first, and spawn and pull, and then gas just a little bit afterwards. Very similar opening here for Serral, and likewise for Harstem.
The thing is about Serral's gameplay in that first game is even the first stepping stones of what he did at that beginning of the game with this creep spread being as aggressive as it was all him going down the direction of, I want this really strong army later on. I am not going to change it. I am not going to go anywhere else but that. So he had a very clear game plan going into game number 1, and I wonder if he just tries to stick with it.
He may do. He may do. And successful in game number 1.
It was powerful. Very powerful.
Okie doke. Alright, so the Cybercore is set up now for Harstem, who's going to be wanting to build his next pylon just outside his Nexus on the natural, and then from here can build a bit of a plan, and at the moment it's leaning towards that second and third gateway being added on and doing exactly the same as he did previously. But does he want to move out earlier to put pressure on faster, or is he looking towards getting a big 3-base push? Definitely needs to do something.
And for now, just keeping a Ling at the front as well, making sure I'll keep an eye on things and walling off a little bit more of this, with no doubt those additional gateways on the way soon.
Yeah, but again, just 2-base setup from Serral. He's going to take his 3rd base in a couple of moments here, one would imagine. And here comes the second. And here comes the 3rd gateway from Harstem. Just kind of getting up to a comfortable 3 gateways, a good amount to defend against any pushes, but also secure the 3rd base easily, which we'll be wanting to do very shortly after that forge is added on. And then 3rd base coming in for Serral, who's pushing out that creep again very early.
Yeah.
2 active creep tumors, 2 active queens.
The queens being 2 of them being out here pretty fast is kind of cool. Of course, one of them can eventually transition over to the 3rd base and just get things going there. Because once you've got, you know, 4 or 5 active creep tumors going on at the front, the creep's spreading pretty fast then.
Yeah. Roach Warren added on for Serral. As he's having a look around, he sees 1 gateway at the back there, 2 gateways at the front. Is this 4 gateways in total? So he's a little bit worried at this moment, I would imagine. Just, and he's like, okay, it's 3 sentries, so shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Hasn't seen the forge, but may infer after seeing those sentries that it's going to be the case.
Yeah, the sentries is nice to see, 3 or 4 sentries.
Yeah.
He's got a good overlord spawning in the 3rd base as well, which is going to give him heads up to what's going on, which is about to be taken.
Yeah, which is always nice to see. Roach Warren did go down as well here for him, as he spots that 3rd going down instantaneously. An extra gas, as well as the evolution chamber here. So, I mean, I don't see a reason why he has to deviate up from the previous game, to be honest.
No, it worked out well. It just depends on what Harstem does, really, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. Play the reactionary game.
I think he was a little late with starting his +1 attack, Harstem. He's just now chrono boosting into it a little bit to speed that up.
These 2 extra gateways in the main base are interesting here for Harstem.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's just going to try and go for it with this extra gateway presence that he's thrown down here.
Yeah, he stopped pro production, and he's actually, he's going to go for an attack soon. This third is more of a fake. And he's continuing to chrono boost into this, and even another gateway coming in. So he's showing that he's about to take a third, when in reality, he's actually looking to fight. He grabs a lot of lings, about 10 lings there, just got picked off through these force fields that trap them in. And that also, lings acted as a scout. There's one left.
And it's all the sentries being quite aggressive in their positioning, so why would they be that aggressive?
We have a high amount of drones. I mean, gone up to 62 against this. 64. Nothing control in the middle of the map. He's got no idea where this army is.
It's going to be difficult to slow down without that Hydralist end done.
No. And now he sees it for the very first time, and Serral has to get his defensive hat on, because if he doesn't defend this, this looks like a 1-1. It's going to be a strong, I don't know, 8-9 gateway +1 attack.
Whoa, where are these lings going? Looking to try and get on top of that pylon at the very back. There is another one up to the left-hand side. Sends one zealot back to clean that up. But the zealots and the, sentries and the stalkers being very aggressive about their positioning. Look at how far they've gone in.
Yeah, he's controlling the ramp, controlling all the units and drones through these force fields.
And drones have to be pulled off the line. He realized that this time was now. He had to go up here and try and shut all this down before the unit production began for Serral, because he had been powering up so hard.
Serral just didn't expect this. He was getting ready for Harstem to take the third base, to go out to what he did before. But as you saw, the gateway's been added on in the main base, completely caught him off guard.
Yep, there you go. GG. Game number 2 goes to Harstem. Pretty cut and dry there in game number 2, and he will tie up this series 1-1.
Yeah.
So well done by him to just really kind of catch his opponent off guard.
Yeah, that was really smooth, actually. Just a very similar game to the first one, but then a little deviation from Harstem. He's added on those gateways and rushing out that faster +1, and then bang! He came out with an attack which wasn't spotted. And now going forward from this is Serral's just got to be... I'm sitting on my cable again. I keep moving around. Serral's got to be a lot more careful on knowing exactly what gateways are where and what units are where.
Yeah.
And just kind of has his eyes on, because he definitely was sitting back a little bit in autopilot and he got punished.
Yeah, and everything I said pretty cut and dry, you know, in terms of its smoothness. Everything lined up so well. He denies the Overlords. Well, the Overlords went in, they saw normality, and then from that point on, puts the gateways in a place where the Forge wasn't even spotted.
Yeah.
So everything lined up really, really well. Very, very little detection and information there for Serral.
Yeah, and that's what gave Harstem the win. And if that's spotted, you stop drones earlier, and you start building units earlier, and then you can get ready to defend that type of push. But he just wasn't ready. He got really caught off by that.
All right, well, now we're just waiting for Serral to get in the game as well here, as we have Harstem already good to go. Echo, our twin map of Coda, will be our next map to go. Are you leaning any way particular in the series? Because you said it was a hard
in favor of Serral.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think Harstem can do it, but it's slightly in favor.
Okay, okay. You forgot to invite Serral. Okay, it's getting late in the night, guys, apparently, as we will have him in the game very, very soon to go into game number 3. Of course, remember, this is the final series of the night here for Europe Challenger. And make sure to join in the discussion on Twitter if you're still up and still with us here in the European region, or if you're joining halfway through the day in the American region. Hello to you guys. Obviously, go on hashtag WCS on Twitter to make sure that you can all join in and figure out who is going to be our last player going into Premier League. So, go. Yeah, we are just now waiting for our admin to begin things. Our peripheral relocation and transportation assistant from prior shows. So, he got demoted to that.
Yeah.
Some people said he got promoted. No. He got demoted to moving peripherals around.
Yeah. He's also going to be back on Monday to help with the Premier League drawing, which we'll be doing.
All right.
So I'll think of some. I got to speak to his boss, I guess, to get his official title. I'm not too sure what it is. So.
I think I had a good list of them at one point.
Yeah, you got that from his boss as well. I think I need to get one as well.
All right, so let's get into it. Game number 3, as we have spawning down to the south, tying up the series here, 1-1. Against him, of course, it is My Insanity's Serral in this best of 5. And doing very well in game number 2. Really catching his opponent off guard there with a feisty little push. It is Invasion Esports Harstem.
All right. So Harstem with a cheeky build, cheeky strategy, was able to pick up map number 2. But now we go back to what could be the same as map number 1, unless he has something else planned up his sleeves.
Yes. And Harstem, of course, very rare you see him actually go for cannon rushes. He's always about the gateway expands, always about the Nexus first into gateway. He really likes just taking a slower pace to the start of the game in terms of aggression, but then obviously a faster pace when it comes to the economy.
Yeah, I think if we were to see 3 hatch in a row or something out of Serral, then we're going to be looking at some cannon rushes from Harstem. But overall, he's always been Nexus or gateway oriented with his openers. Yeah,
and he's pulled it off very well. I mean, there was a lot of Protoss back in the day that had a hard time going for these gateway openers after we had this transition in meta, but he's always seemed to have a really good stab at it.
All right, so spawn impulse first coming out from Serral, just pretty standard overall. But the gateway this time from Harstem. He opened up Nexus first 2 times in a row. He's going to go over towards the gateway just a little bit safer in case our opponent over here, Serral, was to do anything really rushy. And he's going to be able to stop that. And he's also sending a probe scout, which is going to time up just a little bit too late to stop the hatchery block.
And now he's going to try and put the fear of God in him. Going behind this mineral line and doing nothing. Absolutely zilch.
Zilch nada. Nothing.
Yeah. Just like our good old friend Maynard would say. Oh well.
Yeah.
For now, no gas has been taken just yet here by Harstem. We'll be taking those pretty soon as this probe's still poking on around. Drone for Serral was like, yeah, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to be as keen as you think you want me to be. And then goes back to mining.
Gas come down now for Serral. And he's definitely, I mean, that's the only adjustment Serral will make from game 2 to game 3 is just have his eyes on Harstem a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But everything else he'll probably play very similar because he's been looking solid so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he'd have known about that earlier on and had even just 7 or 8 more roaches when the first initial sentries and stalkers hit, he'd have been totally fine. And then from that point on, he probably could have tried to snowball it. So
yeah,
he had a powerful economy behind all of it. Oh, probe actually sneaks back in somehow. Wow, that was impressive. But 2 links get split off, and will. Oh, did not see the probe. Good moves there by Harstem. Keeping that alive.
All right.
Drone was eager to go out there for Serral.
Yeah, maybe a misclick. It's quite early compared to the previous times. He's not really ready to take his third yet. He's creep spreading and getting speed.
Yeah. Oh well, Zealot will push away these 2 Zerglings. And they could actually have looped around and gone into the main base and tried to get some scouting off, but there's not really a whole lot of Protoss we'll be putting down right now, other than maybe having a look at if there's any Chrono Boost going into the Cybernetics core out, and there's not much on the Nexus.
Yeah, Stalker's been rushed out here. It's going to push these Lings back and stop any Overlord from going in, so Harstem may try to put some pressure on with these units as he continues to push out. But Stalkers have changed. Usually you get the Sentry here. Start building that energy up.
Yeah.
But it was a Stalker then Sentry.
Wants to keep all these eyes, these prying eyes on the walls away from him.
Yeah, and he knows that Serral's going to be wanting to get those eyes in a lot easier and earlier this time. So that's a good choice to try that.
6 extra Zerglings in production. A bit of a commitment here just in case anything was to go on.
Yeah, Zealot and Stalker could be moving across the map so he could deal with it.
Yeah.
Assist that Queen. But third base is going to go down in a quick second. Waiting for Harstem to make his next move here. Second Sentry. Forge. Alright, so leaning towards that third base again. And Serral just doing, I mean, it's pretty much a mirrored build from 1, 2, and now 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did he get the Roach Warren as well?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So, actually, the Roach Warren's a little bit later than prior, I think. But minor details. Minor details. There we go. Comes in now after that evolution chamber's been started up and good to go. So that +1 weapons will be in quite rapidly here.
Yeah, Harstem's going to move over, take this third base now, and start to power up towards the mid part of the game. And this is the difference. This is like exactly where we were before, where Harstem started to plan his attack and started to add on the additional gateways and chrono boost the crap out of that +1 attack. And at this point, Serral's got to be careful.
Yeah, Lings will head on over and see those sentries moving out towards the third base. Gets confirmation of that. He already had confirmation with the Overlord moving into position. But aside from that, doesn't want to get faked out again. So he's going to be sending Overlords in to try and spot if he is being faked out.
Yeah, he's been a little bit more cautious with his drones. Adding on quite a bit. He's sending in an Overlord inside that main base, having a look with his Zerglings, having them at the front, because that's something else he missed. He didn't see the units move across the map.
Yeah.
So he's got these Zerglings here. Overlord goes in, sees no chrono boost into that forge for now. And is at 57 drones, added on 3-5 roaches. He went up to like 64 before he even started to build any more units.
I'm going to try and force a reaction out of his opponent here, but this is definitely not the commitment that we saw previous.
No, definitely not.
Oh, there's 2 extra gateways at the back that I wasn't expecting, actually. It could be a commitment, a bit more of an odd one.
Yeah, it's not a full commitment here, and I think that Serral should be okay to push this back.
Yeah. He's got 10 Lings, some more roaches coming out. He got himself a few workers over here as well. 3 probes are in production at any position, and he saw the probes in production at the third base. So, yeah.
Serral's just playing this nice and safe here. Quite a few roaches out, Lings out.
I'm surprised that these 2 gateways in the back of this natural are as quick as they are, though. Oh, well.
Just start to build up that army. Blink's on its way, +2's on its way. It's the final countdown towards the push out soon with +2 anyway when that starts up.
True.
But Serral now droning up more comfortably after building these 16 roaches and 10 Lings. So Harstem from the previous game has put a bit of fear into Serral. He was a little bit nervous, built a few extra units to make sure he was okay. Now is fully droned up towards these bases and can continue on with his plan. So Harstem did slow him down a little bit from getting there immediately.
And Hydra is then going to go down off this as well. So Hallucinated Phoenix sees it instantly as it does end up coming along. So if he can get a good Roach Hydra base to this army, then yeah, he can shut down the army here of Harstem. But he's going into Robo pretty quickly.
He's decided to go Colossus this game. And it's something we haven't seen too much. Serral is going to have a look. He's got the Overseer. And spotting this means he'll probably go straight towards the Hive, but for Vipers.
Yeah.
And he's going to see it. Nice scout there by Serral.
Yeah, it's funny. It is rarer nowadays we're seeing the Colossi in this matchup because oftentimes it's just the Sentries, Stalkers with an immortal little backbone to it as well. But Colossi coming in and they can be very vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable if well orchestrated by the Zerg.
Yeah, Warp Prism just finished as well, so he's going to try the harassment he's done in the last couple of games. But good creep spread again here from Serral.
Yep, just fanning out from his bases.
Oh, he's getting a couple of these roaches caught. Observer is with this, so destroy those.
Not easy to burrow. You can't double burrow and get out there. Difficult.
And he sees the Warp Prism, so knows that that's a bit of a threat, so going to have some units in position for that. But Harstem just going to take this a little bit slow. He's got the units in the middle of the map, just nice some creep. Keep that back, because it is very good, as mentioned.
Yep, very important to do that. With a Mothership Core there, just to recall out in case he gets in danger, in the danger zone.
No units. Oh yeah, 3 Hydros coming down to stop that Warp Prism.
Not too bad at all. And now we'll fly on in here and kill that off pretty quickly.
Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. 3 Hallucinated Phoenixes, going to have a look to see what is going on exactly. Hive, no Hive. I mean, he already saw no Hive on the natural, but he's going to have a look at all the tech structures around. Checks the layer again, though. No Hive. Going to check where the army is. Going to deny some more creep at the top.
And he'll fly all the way up to see the infestation pit and whirring away, so at least that is giving him good foresight as to what's about to come.
Yeah. Serral gets into position to stop this base from being destroyed.
Yeah. And, well, you can actually go in for the engagement there and make sure that he can establish it. That was very aggressive to establish that concave.
Yeah, not going to work. You can't break that.
Yeah. It was, but the thing is about this map is the 4th to 3rd base are very, very spread out, and something like a spine crawler wall that we saw on Valley Research Station isn't as easy.
Yeah. Serral hasn't got too much preparation for these Colossus, really. I mean, he's seen it, but he just has Roach, Hydra, Infester. And now that we've got 2 Colossus and a 3rd one on its way, in good fights with good force field, it's going to be very hard for Serral to fight.
These Lings are going to wrap on around towards that 3rd base. Obviously, he sees that there is no 4th to the left, but of course there is 1v1 taken to the top. So Lings warping straight away. Blinkstalkers go back, and that should be an easy defense here. Unless a Colossus decides to die, but it doesn't fall off.
But here, if Harstem does this well and force field's all right, I think he's actually going to be okay in taking a fight. Looking to get some of these Lings.
Yeah.
He's positioning and kind of getting himself set up. Oh, he loses a high tempo, sadly, but he's going to attack down this right-hand side. He knows that's where the 4th base is. He might destroy these debris and then attack from this angle and force field into the flat ground. Attacking up this ramp, I suppose, could work as well. But a lot more difficult if the units are in position because you can just get fungled on that ramp.
Yeah, with Colossi slowly siege up this position, then maybe, yeah, that can work out well. And also, this is a small choke for the Zerg to actually establish a concave once the Protoss forces his way all the way up. But that was a good fungal.
Yeah, you see, that's why it's hard to fight up there because you just got fungled over and over and over.
Yeah.
Lost the Mothership Core, all the sentries half health. He's getting countered by Roaches on his 3rd and Lings on his 4th.
Oh, jeez. Not good, not good. Serral is playing this one out well at the moment, and he's buying time for the Vipers to come out while this is going on.
All right, Harstem's going to try this angle down these debris.
Try and break this down and push on forwards for some kind of damage to be done.
There's 4 Colossus.
There's going to be so much Viper energy soon.
Yeah, once the Colossus get out of this. There is Storm as well. There is Storm as well.
Roach is still putting on some pressure. And there's a good feedback on those Infestors. Of course, they did line one of the Fungal Ghosts, but here comes the pull. And there's not an easy way to actually reinforce this Storm up to the top of the high ground. But those Colossi get ripped apart. And that was a great little pull because there was no way this force could actually help it out in that location.
Yeah, that was great. But Harstem's going to go for the kill on this 4th base.
Oh, isolated. Really good set of force fields there to stop that from pursuing on.
Very nice there. He realized his opponent was... He said, wait a minute. We were fighting over your 4th base. We both forgot about it. No, I'm going to get it. Turned around and actually went for it. Now he's got to make sure he can get out alive. Yeah. He doesn't really have too much retreat. He's got no force fields. He has no retreating storms. He warps in units on the high ground to make sure he's okay. Another Colossus is there.
He had no Mothership Core either to even recall out. He died earlier on.
But so far, so good for Harstem. This is good that he got that base. He's got his 4th still alive.
Resources lost, though, very much so in favor of Serral, who is getting more and more Infestors.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of money in the bank for Serral. But that was a nice win there by Harstem to get that. But Serral is going to start to, I imagine, go towards the Great Aspire soon. I think that's what he's looking. But now we're going to see the Dark Templar being used as they warp in and run past on the natural.
Oh, where are they?
They've got fungled both. All 3, actually.
Dark
they all got fungled as they are walking past.
Ah, okay.
So, nice attempt, but sorry. And Harstem's expecting the Broodlords. He's got the Fleet Beacon down, but that's not the case right now. As Serral continues to camp up, but excellent job with the creep spread denial by moving across these high grounds. And this is the wonderful thing about this map for Protoss versus Zerg is he can stay on high ground in the middle of the map very easily, and it's very hard for Zerg to go up and engage. Yeah,
Serral is having a difficult time, you're right. And also that's going to slow down any kind of attack he wants to do, especially the fact that he's got the Great Aspire on the way now as well.
Going to take down this base and also DTs onto the top right base. So again, keeping Serral down to 3 bases. Harstem playing a very, very good game this one.
Yeah, it really feels like he's one step ahead all the time of Serral here in this game compared to where he was prior in the first game, where Serral was kind of the one who was leapfrogging forwards all the time.
DT's bringing that base down by itself if he doesn't react.
Yeah.
He's got an overseer there.
He's a little bit worried to be kind of drawn out of position, I guess.
You can't let that die.
But
it's only like 2-3 hits away.
Sporadic fungals all over the place really there for Serral to try and catch out some of Harstem's force. And a good storm will continue to push on.
He's going to get the hatch again.
Yeah. All he needs to do is just... Well, that's quite the commitment there, actually, for all those Stalkers. He can continue to fungal that, and he doesn't actually chain it.
He lives!
Oh, my God.
All he had to do is touch it once.
Yeah, just a few beams from the Colossi.
He's going to go back. Blink 1 Stalker.
Anything. How much health is it on? 19. Just shoot it!
Get the hatchery!
Just shoot it! Colossus gets pulled forwards. Does that shoot it? Not even that. There we go.
He's winning the fight anyway. He gets the hatchery and he's going to get the army.
Colossus beam. It didn't even target the hatchery. It just hit something next to it and killed it off. Very
good base denials from Harstem here. And Serral, who had a lot of money in the bank before, has just used it all up. 35 roaches on the way.
And how many more Fungals does he have? Not many. So if he'd have continued to chain that and bought time for the 35 roaches, then yeah, maybe. But, well, they need to come in all from all sides here. Harstem has a bit of a bank himself.
Yeah, nice blinkety blinks, but even better burrow.
No observer.
Gonna fall back here and just rebuild up a little bit. Harstem lost a lot, but it's a remax of roaches, and we know that roaches at this stage of the game just aren't that good against all these +2. Funny enough, not +3 stalkers. He's gone for 2/2.
Yeah.
And DT's Colossus.
Yeah, Observer must have died off when the fungal growths were going down.
Yeah.
And just kind of got caught in the crossfire, but so that is a bit annoying. The burrow is still a tool that is an irritation here for the Protoss without that blink, without the Observer, I should say. Not that much AoE. 1 Colossus, 3 High Templar. Needs to get a few more morphed in. Doesn't have that much gas though. And these Broodlords, they have a base to complement them with the roaches and the fungals. So he could still hold on for a little bit.
What?
And now he has to back off, realizing that the Broodlords are there. I think he thought that that would have been a bit easier and there wouldn't have been Broodlords present at all, but now he's starting the Tempests.
Oh, 3 High Templar, no!
Ah, that's a bit sad. Unit count, that's all the High Templar he had, actually.
Yeah.
And that's not cheap. Not cheap, especially when you need Tempests as well.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Stalkers here. And the roaches are going to die so fast, and Stalkers are just going to be left to touch these Broodlords.
A lot of Stalkers and not many fungal growths to lock them down for the Broodlords to do the job. They will continue on, though, pushing all of this back. You know what? Fully enough, the +2 armor is doing pretty good against the Broodlords.
Yeah, I was thinking that just now, actually.
Yeah, because there's not really...
Kind of, he gets fungled, but he takes hits and survives a few more, and then he's able to blink out. I noticed that a little bit before.
Yeah.
New 4th base on the way here for Serral. A Warp Prism just loaded up and taken itself down to the natural, where the hive is. And now it's time for the Tempest to start to play.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult to really combat that here for Serral. He doesn't have the static defense that he had before because he doesn't have the creep spread, and he definitely doesn't have the army that he had in game number 1 either.
It's good harassment from Harstem as well. Goes to the main base while holding off against his 4th.
Looks for the Greater Spire, maybe, even, in the main base. But here comes the army once again. But this is just going to get blinked under very, very soon. There's not that many roaches really here to stave this off. 29 Stalkers, blink forwards.
Roaches just can't cut it at this stage of the game, and he's going to destroy all of these. The Broodlords are going to go down slowly but surely. Harstem just has to make sure he blinks properly and concentrates on blinking back and forth, and he's going to win this fight.
It's funny, another 17 roaches in production here.
Yeah.
As Serral really doesn't feel that he has enough left to go onto another army.
Serral's found this this base over here. Serral's dealing very well with the harassment that Harstem's trying to invest into.
Yeah. Resources lost, actually very, very equal between the both. As these DTs will clean this up eventually.
Yeah, he's going to move up and take out this 4th, but it is only Roach Hydra. Harstem just needs to chill out and just sit back. It's Roach Hydra. He is being aggressive, but he doesn't need to be overly aggressive here.
The 3 Vipers could be the game changer. He's got so much minerals, though, as Harstem. His bank is huge in comparison.
Yeah, he's going to take out this hatchery, and that's a big win.
Yeah. And he's on the left-hand side as well, taking out the extra 4th hatchery that would spring up when the other one over the other side of the map is dead.
I mean, the unit that's going to win the game now for Harstem is just sentries. Like, just build sentries.
Yeah.
And then you can cut this army up. He's adding on High Tempo for Storm. All he's got to do is just build that Death Ball up, and he's in good position again. The only thing that can really work, I mean, High Tempo is great to be able to feed back these Vipers, but he just needs to bulldoze, get to 200 supply, and walk over his opponent's army. It's Roach Hydra. It's not a difficult army to beat anymore.
Yeah, this really looks like a difficult map for Serral's playstyle, actually, now that we're looking at it a bit closer, because he's had the hardest time dealing with all of the harassment, dealing with his 4th base to 5th base, constantly being denied, because they are so far away from one another.
It's a good fight in the middle of the map. He got rid of all the Vipers.
Oh, And yeah, it's only Roach Hydra left over with extra storms and a bit of spice underneath it. There you go, GG, as Harstem takes the lead 2-1 in this series and is 1 game away from qualifying for Premier and getting revenge.
Yeah, and that's a massive moment. Here he can be, you chose me twice, and I got the second win. I'm in Premier.
Yep, it's be nice for him. Harstem obviously wanting to be back in Premier after being staved off in that season number 1 here in 2015, and now 1 game separates him. But Serral, likewise, that did look like a difficult map for him, I feel.
Yeah, I think that the Colossus production very early on and the way that Harstem was controlling the game, just Serral was always reacting to a lot of it, and he was stuck on Roach Hydra. The addition of the High Templar was at the right time, so he was able to deal with the Viper as well, and I just think that Harstem played that very solidly.
Yeah. All right, well, we are jumping into game number 4 now, and what are we going on to?
Don't know.
Don't know, mate. Expedition lost, apparently. No, it's not. That was Petraeus' veto. I don't know why. Okay, so it's going to be Iron Fortress here for map number 4. And, I mean, what do you make of this one?
I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect, really. This is, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to expect.
Okay, okay. Harstem could quite easily play the Blink style again. Just try and power through in there in the mid-game. Maybe not with the Colossi. And then just try the good old Blink Stalker Sentry Immortal push.
Yeah, I think that Harstem's definitely feeling out how to beat Serral in these last couple of maps. He did a very nice surprise in game number 2, and game number 3, he just had the better army almost at every point in that match. He is anticipating moves, like the Fleet Beacon's always coming down before the Greatest Spy even begins. He's knowing when Serral's about to make these types of transitions, and it is working well.
Yes, it is. All right, so we almost hit 11 p.m. here in Europe at the moment, in CEST, of course. And now it could come down to this one final map, of course, unless Serral is able to push it on to that 5th ace and rubber match here to figure out who is going to be moving on to Premier. There's only 1 spot left, and unfortunately, one of these guys is not going to get it.
Yeah, it's sad to think that one of these isn't going to get a position in Premier League. But Harstem now just 1 game away from making that revenge complete from Season 1. He got given another opportunity here, or was offered another opportunity from Serral, and he's looking to take it. 1 final map to go.
All right, let's jump on in then as we load up onto Iron Fortress to figure out how this is going to play down. And we do have Serral at 1, Harstem at 2. Perfect. So, spawning up to the top right-hand corner, it is our red Zerg. Of course, it is my Insanity's Serral. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss. It's Invasion Esports, Harstem.
Okie doke. Alright, so for these positions, it can be a little bit difficult for Harstem to fight in between the 2nd and 3rd. So that's something which Serral might want to concentrate his strategy around.
And it is pretty difficult, you're correct. I'm wondering how Serral, from here on out, is going to play this, because he's up against it. He is up against it. I'm trying to think if his style here of just trying to push on the creep forwards and just get that good army is going to be good on here. But Harstem's harassment is something that has looked really strong, and it's refined from game to game here.
Yeah,
from game 1 to 3.
He's getting used to playing against what Serral's been up to, so Serral might want to consider changing his overall approach to beating Harstem.
Yeah. All right, well, just gonna send this drone down here and take this expansion first on Iron Fortress. No surprises there. He actually sent his Overlord in the correct direction to start things off, so he will see this Nexus first pretty fast.
Yeah, and there's not much he can do about it. I mean, he's gone hatchery first if he don't, but he may go 3-hatch.
Yeah, that could be cool. You'll see it super quick. The probe is moving up towards the top, so maybe this will prop that triple hatch, but no, it's just going to be the spawning pool.
Yeah, spawning pool, and there's not too much he can really do about this anyway. It's like, okay, he's gone hatch first. I mean, Nexus first. So he's just going to have to accept that and get his Overlords in position ready to scout out about the 3rd base and the tech choice.
Spots himself that hatchery and just goes online, have a little bit of a look around. Let's see what's going on in terms of gas, and we'll eventually see that as well. So this is a prime opportunity here for Harstem to go 3-1. And if he would do, it'd make his life a lot easier. Does not want to go into another game with Serral. He's a dangerous, dangerous opponent.
Yeah, Serral is... He performed so very well in Season 1, and once I think he's kind of lost a bit of the drive in these last couple of games. He started so well in game number 1, and then Harstem just had the better end of the last 2. And he really needs to find that back, otherwise he will be eliminated in Challenger again, as he had done in the past.
And it would be a bit of a heartbreaker for him after he did so well in the previous season. Of course, the games that we saw of him playing against Protoss in the round of 32 were blisteringly good. Really, really good.
I mean, he's had such a great last 3 seasons. I mean, including this one. Round of 32, round of 16, and then you don't want to drop down a Challenger. You don't want to lose like you have done in the last seasons. Here, he wants to continue to improve.
Wait, I say that. Was he playing against Zergs or was he playing against Protosses in the round of 32?
Protoss.
Yes, it was Protoss.
Zerg. Protoss and Zerg.
Protoss and Zerg. Okay, so my memory served me double-fold, but I was trying to juke myself out. Sorry about that.
Protoss and Zerg, if I remember correctly.
All right, well, for now, maybe even get himself a probe. Oh, very, very close. It's going to scoot on around, and that probe has to evacuate out. Where is he going? Why was he sticking to the... What was that? That was weird. He could have just evacuated it to the main base, but oh well. Not surely going to get another one.
Robotics facility. Woo!
Uh-oh.
All right, so that's down nice and early.
Uh-oh.
And this is a big change up from Harstem, keeping Serral guessing at all times. Robotics facility, of course, adds the option for a very early warp prism or that very early immortal, and then the off chance of a random 2-base Colossus attack, which has been used in the past.
Yeah, crazy stuff if we see that, actually. It would be funny if we actually end our challenge games with a 2-base immortal play. Rare we get to see it nowadays. But
Overlord pushed away from the Stalker.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the first immortal being made by Harstem. He's going to choo-choo his way to victory.
Oh my god.
We have a Roach Warren on its way down. We have Zergling speed complete, but Serral has no idea what's going on. He can't get any eyes on his opponent because the Overlords are being denied.
Oh my god, this is going to end one way or another.
Well, he sees 1 sentry at the front, but the warp gates aren't finished. He sees a 2nd sentry. Looks normal.
Looks like an expansion play for the moment.
Yeah, it just looks like a normal game.
But behind all of it, in the veil of shadows, there is the Harstem Immortals.
Lots of drones being added on. Continues to drone. Serral may get surprised. He may get eliminated by not knowing what's going on here. Just like he lost map number 2 when he didn't see that big 9 or whatever gateway attack it was. Could get surprised again. He's building 2 overlords, more drones coming.
Alright, here comes another gateway at the back, and they're going to continue to be added on. 3rd immortal in production. And there goes the Overlord very, very slowly into the main
any
base.
second, I mean, you can start to know what's going on because at this time the Protoss should be expanding.
Yeah.
So Roche production a little bit has begun. He's at 52 drones. He's trying to get an Overlord in. It gets denied. He squeezes out 4 more.
Oh, he's going to lose the Overlord. Ah, that's annoying. But small, minor things to try and kind of ramp this up here. Harstem now's moving out.
Oh, he's adding on 4 Overlords. What are they going to be from these units? It's only roaches that he can make. He's got good creep spread. It is going to be roaches. No, drone.
Oh.
He sees. Okay, he sees. Now it's time to build up that army. He's got to get it on the go. Here comes the roaches, here comes the links. He saw that very late there because he just couldn't get in and see anything.
Yeah, and it's deceptively close actually on this map when he's walking across like this.
It's only 3 hatcheries. There's no macro hatch. Creep spread's decent, but does he have enough units out in time?
Needs to warp in some more units here. Does Harstem keep here on top
he's going to attack
macro?
up that ramp where there's no creep.
Uh-oh. And if he can get pylons on this left-hand side as well, that'd be brilliant for the reinforcement. But of course, he's got to try and protect these other pylons at the back. Doesn't want to get caught in the middle here.
Probe's down, though. Pylon's still up.
Whoa! No.
Blew his own pylon up. Be careful, buddy.
That was really close. Actually, if another remote had been in range of that, maybe it would have died off pretty quick. But now, the Ling's going to get on top of it and has to try and defend against the roaches and Lings at the back. Serral is orchestrating this really, really well. Tries to get onto the other pylon. Has still a little bit of energy here for the force fields.
He's losing a lot of force fields already, though.
Yeah.
Still got energy left for sure, absolutely, and he warps in even more sentries, but he's on this ramp. That pylon's going to get it picked off, and there's no warp prism.
And the closest pylon's quite far away after that one, so he's got to try to keep it alive.
Yeah, he's trying to get that Warp Prism out, and he catches some of the roaches at the top. One roach on this left-hand side is going to get gunned down, completely isolated away from his friends. 5 more Overlords are in production here to get out extra roaches, but maybe he could even... No, there's no way
Serral's desire for that pylon's hurting him. He keeps going for it, but losing units as Harstem sits on that ramp and protecting that pylon, but the Warp Prism, as you said, is almost out too.
Needs to get over here very, very quickly. Tries to get the pylon. Ducks back and forth into it. He could actually deny some of this creep now that he has an observer here. He gets himself a Spore Crawler at the front. It's wasting a lot of force fields for keeping this pylon alive.
Yeah, the Warp Prism's on its way. You could almost just like warp in one more round and then forget about that pylon. The Warp Prism's going to be good enough. Maybe build another couple at home so he doesn't get pylon boxing. That's what he's doing.
Army supply 75.
Yeah, he's going to forget about the pylon. The Warp Prism's going to do the rest.
All right, and he pushes on forwards here, cutting off some of these units. Very, very strong power behind this. The 3 Immortals tucked in nicely into this gateway force. Good force fields at the back. Will deny the roaches from pursuing on, but they actually get some of the free units themselves anyway. And that Mothership Core does not want to be dying off, but there goes the Warp Prism, funneling on forwards. This is a great opportunity for Harstem to do some damage. The drones scrambling up against those force fields.
Yeah, this is perfectly executed from Harstem. From the very build to not letting it get scouted to his movement up, his control, his force fields, his protection, his waiting until the Warp Prism's there. Everything is working. The revenge is almost complete.
It is. He gets the 3rd hatchery. He needs the production from that. Roach is going to come in again, isolating some of those off, dealing with the roaches as well as the drones up on the high ground. And now he doesn't have that many sentries left in terms of the force fields, but I don't know if he even needs them with the armor supply he has.
There's so many Stalkers. It's going to be so difficult. You want to get rid of the Immortals immediately, but if you try to get close, you're going to get destroyed. There's still 2 Time Warps.
Yeah, and there goes down 1, and it isolates them in a really, really horrible position. The roaches have to back off at the front. Here come the drones again. Serral knows he's in a lot of trouble here, but Harstem takes a massive supply advantage with the 3 Immortals having barely been touched to the back. 23 kills, 19 kills, 20 kills apiece here, and they will be able to finish off the rest of the forces here from Serral. Congratulations to Harstem as he goes through into Premier League and he gets the revenge from season number 1.
Yeah, congratulations to Harstem. And we had a 4 out of 5 Challenger day today. We had 4 Premier League players being eliminated. Harstem completes the revenge that he wanted. Well, I don't know if he wanted it, actually. I'm surprised he did want it, but it was Serral that chose him out and called him out, and Harstem delivers the win.
Yeah, and with our Zigzag being completely destroyed today, we now have our tally completely confirmed. Challenger over Premier.
Yeah, look at that. Challenger players come out on top of Premier League players in this season's Challenger, and that is our 32 players complete. We have 32 players now that are ready for Premier League. It was a great day of StarCraft and a good couple of days as well. But the Premier League drawings is going to be on Monday. Remember that, Monday. I've already said it a couple of times. So again, if you're going to ask when it is, it's on Monday. It's going to be 6 o'clock CEST. And we're going to draw those groups out live to see who plays who.
I certainly hope we have LP and Haas in the same group, and I hope it's here in Germany. That's going to be fantastic. So we've had some great games throughout the past 3 days, obviously, here in Challenger, and it's actually been a whole lot of fun to bring these games to you. I haven't been able to bring Challenger to you before, but it's been a great pleasure. Yeah,
hope you've enjoyed it. We put a lot of work into making Challenger possible for you guys at home, so hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in Season 3 for Challenger, of course. But it's time for the Premier League. It's going to be Premier League time in the next couple of weeks.
That's going to be exciting. 4 groups here, 4 groups in Burbank, California. No doubt from Rotty and Nate over there in America. So a huge thank you for tuning in. That does it for us tonight. Make sure to catch not only the Premier drawings, but the Premier dates coming along here very soon for Season 2 of the World Championship Series.